You need to choose people who choose you. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and dreamers, I want to share with you today a truth that has the power to transform your life, a truth so simple, yet so profound. You need to choose people who choose you. Now, let me tell you something. Life is too short and your soul is too precious to keep chasing people who make you feel like you're running a marathon just to earn their attention, their love, or their respect. You see, the relationships we build, the friendships, partnerships, and connections we nurture are the foundation of who we are and who we can become. But here's the catch. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Not everyone who shows up in your life is meant to stay. Choosing people who choose you is not about arrogance, it's about alignment. It's about walking hand in hand with people who see you, who value you, and who uplift you. Because when you surround yourself with people who truly choose you, something magical happens. Your light shines brighter, your spirit grows stronger, and your purpose becomes clearer. So today I ask you, who are the people in your life that fill your cup? Who are the people that show up for you, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's hard? Choose them. Choose the ones who choose you with their actions, not just their words. And let me be clear, choosing people who choose you doesn't mean rejecting others with bitterness or anger. No, it means you're honoring your time, your energy, and your worth. It's about creating space for relationships that are reciprocal, relationships that pour back into you as much as you pour into them. You have to remember this. You are worthy of being chosen just as you are. You are worthy of love that doesn't require a negotiation. You are worthy of friendships that don't demand you to dim your light. So stand tall, stand firm, and make the brave choice to let go of those who don't see your value. And watch how your life blossoms when you choose people who choose you. Because you, my friends, deserve nothing less than value alignment. Let me ask you something. How often do we find ourselves holding on to relationships that don't align with who we truly are? You know what I'm talking about, those moments when you feel like you're compromising your values just to make someone else comfortable. That's not love, that's not friendship, and that's not healthy. When you align yourself with people who share your core values, you're not just choosing friends or partners, you're choosing your energy, your peace, and your purpose. These are the people who will stand with you when the storms of life roll in. They're not going to run for shelter. They'll stand beside you, holding that umbrella with you, maybe even dancing in the rain. Because alignment means walking together, not pulling someone behind or chasing after them. It's looking at the journey of life and saying, we're going the same way. Let's walk together. That's where the magic happens, my friends. That's where trust and respect are born. When your values align, conversations flow effortlessly. There's no need to explain yourself or defend who you are. They get you. They understand what makes your heart beat and what keeps you awake at night. And isn't that what we all crave, to be understood without judgment? Think about the relationships in your life right now. Are they reflective of your values? Are they reinforcing the person you want to be, or are they pulling you away from that vision? This is where your power lies, in the ability to choose. To say yes to what resonates with your spirit, no to what doesn't. It takes courage to walk away from relationships that don't align with your values. It takes strength to say, I love myself enough to choose peace over chaos. And that's not selfish, it's necessary. Because if you're constantly at odds with the people around you, how can you grow? How can you thrive? When you choose people who align with your values, you're not just nurturing relationships, you're nurturing your soul. And when your soul is nourished, you become unstoppable. You become a force of nature capable of creating, loving, and inspiring in ways you never imagined. So don't settle for connections that drain you. Don't settle for relationships that make you question your worth or compromise your integrity. Instead, choose the ones who see your light and help it shine even brighter. These are the relationships that will lift you higher. They'll challenge you to be better, not because you're not enough, but because they see the greatness within you. And they'll walk with you every step of the way, cheering you on, celebrating your victories, and picking you up when you stumble. When you choose value alignment, you're not just creating a life, you're creating a legacy. A legacy of love, respect, and authenticity that will ripple out to everyone around you. And here's the beautiful part. When you choose people who align with your values, you give others permission to do the same. You become a beacon of hope, a living example that it's possible to create relationships rooted in love, respect, and mutual understanding. You'll find that your energy shifts when your relationships are aligned. Suddenly, you're not fighting battles that aren't yours to fight. You're not carrying burdens that aren't yours to carry. Instead, you're free to focus on what truly matters, your purpose, your passion, and your peace. This is where true joy lives, in the space where your values and your relationships meet. It's a space filled with laughter, love, and light. And that, my friends, is the life you were meant to live. Reciprocity is K. Now, let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked at your relationships and asked yourself, is this a two-way street? Because let's be honest, too many of us are stuck in connections that feel like dead ends. We're giving, and what do we get in return? a trickle, a drop, or sometimes nothing at all. That's not love. That's not friendship. That's exhaustion. True relationships thrive on reciprocity. It's the give and take, the ebb and flow. It's about both people showing up not out of obligation, but out of genuine care and connection. And when reciprocity is present, you feel it. It's a balance, an unspoken rhythm that says, I've got you and you've got me. But here's the thing, you can't force reciprocity. You can't make someone show up for you the way you show up for them. And that's a hard pill to swallow, isn't it? We want so badly for people to love us the way we love them. But the truth is, love has to be mutual. Respect has to be mutual. Effort has to be mutual. When you pour into someone else, you deserve to be poured into as well. You deserve relationships where you don't have to question whether you matter, whether you're appreciated, whether you're seen. Because when someone truly values you, they make it known not just in words, but in actions. Think about the relationships in your life. Who are the people that consistently show up for you? Who are the ones who check on you, support you, celebrate you? And on the flip side, who are the people that only seem to show up when they need something from you? It's time to take stock. Now, let's be clear, reciprocity doesn't mean keeping score. It's not about tallying favors or measuring love. It's about the feeling of balance, the sense that you're both in this together, equally invested in the connection. And when you find relationships that are rooted in reciprocity, hold on to them, cherish them, nurture them. Because those relationships are rare and they are precious. They're the ones that will carry you through life's highs and lows, the ones that will remind you of your strength when you've forgotten it yourself. But when you realize that a relationship is one-sided, that's when you have to make a choice. Do you continue pouring into someone who isn't pouring into you, or do you step back and protect your energy? That choice isn't easy, but it's necessary. When you let go of relationships that lack reciprocity, you create space for the right people to come into your life. You open the door to connections that uplift you, inspire you, and remind you of your worth. And here's the beautiful part. When you choose reciprocity, you're teaching others how to treat you. You're setting the standard for what you will and won't accept in your relationships. And that standard, it's a reflection of how much you value yourself. When you prioritize reciprocity, you're not just building better relationships, you're building a better life. A life where you feel supported, valued, and loved. A life where your energy is met with equal energy, your effort with equal love, your love with equal love. And in that life, you'll find a peace that comes from knowing you're surrounded by people who truly choose you just as you choose them. A peace that says, I am enough and I am loved, not for what I can give, but for who I am. Honor your worth. Let me tell you something. If you don't honor your worth, don't expect anyone else to. If you don't set the standard for how you deserve to be treated, life and people will hand you whatever they feel like. And most of the time, it'll be far less than what you're worth. Honoring your worth starts within. It's about waking up every morning and saying, I am enough just as I am right here, right now. It's about refusing to shrink to fit someone else's comfort zone. It's about knowing that your voice matters, your dreams matter, you matter. But let's be honest, how often do we put ourselves last? How often do we silence our needs, our desires, our boundaries just to keep the peace or make someone else happy? We've been conditioned to believe that putting ourselves first is selfish, but let me tell you something, it's not selfish, it's survival. When you honor your worth, you're teaching the world how to treat you. You're saying, this is who I am, and I will not accept less than I deserve. And that's powerful, that's transformative, that's freedom. But it's not always easy, is it? Honoring your worth means making hard choices. It means walking away from relationships that don't value you, even when your heart wants to stay. It means saying no to opportunities that don't align with your values, even when they seem tempting. It means standing firm, even when it feels like the ground beneath you is shaking. You see, honoring your worth isn't about arrogance, it's about alignment, it's about choosing people, opportunities, and experiences that reflect the love and respect you have for yourself. It's about creating a life that feels as good on the inside as it looks on the outside. And here's the truth, when you honor your worth, not everyone will clap for you. Some people will be uncomfortable with your boundaries, some will label you as difficult or demanding, but that's not your burden to carry. Because the right people, the ones who truly see you, will celebrate you for standing in your power. Think about the times when you've settled, when you've accepted less than you deserved. How did it feel? Heavy, right? Like a weight on your soul. That's your inner voice, your intuition, telling you that you're meant for more. Listen to it, trust it. When you start honoring your worth, something amazing happens. You begin to attract people and opportunities that align with your highest self. You start to feel lighter, freer, more at peace because you're no longer carrying the weight of relationships or situations that were never meant for you. But let me tell you this, honoring your worth is a daily practice. It's not a one-time decision, it's a lifetime commitment. It's choosing yourself over and over again, even when it's hard, even when it's scary, even when it means standing alone. And here's the beautiful part. When you honor your worth, you give others permission to do the same. You become a living example of what it looks like to live with courage, integrity, and self-love. You inspire others to rise, to grow, to choose themselves too. So today I challenge you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I honoring my worth? If the answer is no, don't beat yourself up. Instead, make the choice right here and now to start. Start small if you have to. Say no when you mean no. Speak up when something doesn't feel right. Celebrate yourself, even when no one else does. Because you, my friend, are worthy of love, worthy of respect, worthy of a life that lights up your soul. And the moment you start honoring that worth, you'll find that the world begins to rise to meet you. Actions over words. Let's talk about this. How often do we fall in love with words, sweet words, promising words, words that make us feel seen, heard, and wanted? But here's the thing about words, they're easy to say, aren't they? It's the actions that follow those words that tell the real story. Because anyone can say, I'm here for you, but who actually shows up when it matters? Who is there when you're at your lowest, not just when you're shining? That's the difference between someone who talks and someone who cares. You've got to learn to look beyond the words. Words can be a distraction, a smokescreen, a way to keep you hanging on without ever giving you what you truly deserve. But actions, they don't lie. They're the truth that words can't hide. Think about it. When someone loves you, do they need to tell you every single day? Or can you feel it in the way they treat you? Can you feel it in the way they listen, the way they support, the way they make time for you? That's where the real love lies, not in the promises, but in the follow-through. And this doesn't just apply to romantic relationships. It's true for friendships, partnerships, and even family. How many times have you heard someone say, I'll be there, only to find yourself standing alone? It hurts, doesn't it? But that pain is a lesson. It's teaching you to value action over empty promises. When someone's actions align with their words, that's when you know they're genuine. That's when you know they're choosing you, not just with their lips, but with their life. And let me tell you, those people, they're worth holding on to, they're worth cherishing. But let's flip the script for a moment. What about your actions? Are they aligning with your words? Are you showing up for the people you care about, not just saying you will, because authenticity starts with us. If we want actions from others, we have to give them ourselves. When you start living this way, valuing actions over words, you'll notice something powerful. The people who are truly meant to be in your life will rise to the occasion. They'll meet you at your level. And the ones who don't, they'll start to fade away. And that's okay. That's not a loss, it's a clearing. You deserve relationships that are built on trust, not just talk. You deserve to feel secure, not second guessing. And when you hold people accountable to their actions, you're not being demanding, you're being discerning. You're protecting your heart, your time, your energy. Now, let me be clear. This doesn't mean you expect perfection. Nobody's perfect. People make mistakes, but when someone truly values you, their actions will reflect that. Even when they mess up, they'll apologize. They'll make it right. They'll show you through their actions that you matter. And isn't that what we all want? To matter? To feel like someone is choosing us, not just in words, but in deeds? That's what real connection looks like. That's what real love feels like. When you start choosing actions over words, you'll find a new level of clarity in your relationships. You'll stop wasting time on people who aren't truly invested in you. You'll start building connections that are strong, authentic, and reciprocal. And here's the best part. When you value actions over words, you'll start attracting people who do the same. People who show up, who follow through, who mean what they say and say what they mean. So today I challenge you, pay attention. Watch the actions, not just the words. And choose the people who choose you, not just with their mouths, but with their lives. Because that's where the magic is. That's where the love is. That's where you belong, letting go with grace. Let me ask you something. How many of you are holding on to relationships that no longer serve you? Be honest now. It's okay. We've all been there. Holding on to someone because of the history, the potential, or the fear of what life will look like without them. But let me tell you something. Letting go doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're making space. Letting go with grace is one of the hardest things you'll ever do, but it's also one of the most powerful. Because when you let go of what no longer serves you, you're not just saying goodbye to them, you're saying hello to yourself. You're reclaiming your time, your energy, your peace. But here's the truth. Letting go is not about bitterness. It's not about anger or resentment. It's about love. Love for yourself, and yes, even love for the other person. Because when you let go with grace, you're not closing the door with force. You're simply allowing it to swing shut naturally, knowing it's the best thing for everyone involved. Think about it. How many times have you stayed in a relationship, friendship, romantic, or otherwise hoping it would change, hoping they would change? And in the process, you lost a little bit of yourself. That's what happens when we hold on too tightly. We shrink, we bend, we break. But when you let go, something magical happens. You start to grow again. You start to feel lighter, freer, more alive. because you're no longer carrying the weight of something or someone that wasn't meant for you. And let me tell you, letting go doesn't mean you didn't love them. It doesn't mean the time you shared wasn't real or meaningful. It just means their chapter in your life has ended. And that's okay. Not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some people are here for a season, a lesson, a moment. Letting go with grace means releasing the need to control. It means trusting that what's meant for you will stay and what's not will leave. It's about surrendering to the flow of life, knowing that every ending is a new beginning. But let me be real with you, letting go is painful. It hurts. It feels like tearing a piece of yourself away. But that pain, it's temporary. And on the other side of it is a peace you can't even imagine. A peace that comes from knowing you did what was right, not just for them, but for you. When you let go with grace, you're not burning bridges, you're building boundaries. You're saying, I love myself enough to walk away from what no longer aligns with me. And that's not weakness, that's strength, that's courage. And here's the thing, letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean erasing the memories or pretending the relationship never existed. It means honoring it for what it was and then releasing it for what it can no longer be. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for someone else is to let them go, to free them from the expectations they couldn't meet, the role they couldn't play. And in doing so, you free yourself as well. Letting go with grace also means forgiving not just them, but yourself. Forgiving yourself for staying too long, forgiving too much for not knowing when to walk away, because you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. And now you know better. And when you let go, don't look back with regret. Look back with gratitude. Gratitude for the lessons learned, the love shared, the growth gained. Because every relationship, no matter how it ends, leaves you with something. So my friends, if you're holding on to something or someone that's weighing you down, I want you to know it's okay to let go. It's okay to release it with love, with kindness, with grace, because on the other side of letting go is freedom. On the other side of letting go is quality over quantity. Let's talk about something we've all been told at one point or another. The more friends, connections, and relationships you have, the better your life will be. But is that true? Is it the number of people in your life that defines its richness, or is it the depth of those relationships? Let me tell you something, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. You see, we live in a world that glorifies popularity. Social media likes, follower counts, and big social circles have become the markers of success. But let me tell you this, none of that matters if the relationships behind those numbers lack depth, trust, and meaning. Quality relationships are the ones that feed your soul. They're the ones where you can show up as your authentic self, no filters, no masks, no pretending. These are the relationships that hold you in your darkest moments and celebrate with you in your brightest ones. Think about the people in your life right now. How many of them truly see you? How many of them know your fears, your dreams, your struggles? And how many of them are just there on the surface, skating through the shallow waters of your life without ever diving in? Quantity will never fill the void that only quality can. You can be surrounded by 100 people and still feel lonely. But when you have even one person who truly gets you, who stands by you no matter what, that's where the magic is. That's where the connection lies. When you focus on quality over quantity, you start to realize that it's not about how many people show up to your party. It's about who stays to help you clean up after. It's not about how many people tell you they love you. It's about who proves it through their actions. And let me tell you this, quality relationships take time, they take effort, they take intention. You can't rush them and you can't fake them. They're built slowly, brick by brick, moment by moment. And when they're solid, they can withstand anything. Quality relationships also challenge you. They push you to grow, to evolve, to become the best version of yourself. They don't let you settle for mediocrity because they see the greatness within you. And isn't that what we all want? To be seen, truly seen. But here's the thing, not everyone is meant to be in your inner circle. And that's okay. Not everyone has the capacity to love you, support you, or understand you the way you need. That doesn't make them bad people, it just means they're not your people. When you choose quality over quantity, you're making a statement. You're saying, I value depth over breadth. I value authenticity over appearances. I value relationships that nurture me, not just ones that keep me busy. And let me tell you, when you focus on quality, your life changes. You start to feel lighter, freer, more at peace, because you're no longer spending your energy on relationships that don't serve you. You're investing it in the ones that do. And here's the truth. Quality relationships don't just happen, they're cultivated. They're nurtured. They're chosen. You have to show up for them just as much as you want others to show up for you. It's a two-way street, a mutual commitment. But when you invest in quality, the return is priceless. You get relationships that stand the test of time, that weather the storms, that fill your heart in ways quantity never could. So today I want you to ask yourself, are you chasing quantity or are you cultivating quality? Are you surrounding yourself with people who truly matter, or are you collecting relationships like trophies? Because at the end of the day, it's not about how many people are in your life, it's about how much love, trust, and authenticity those relationships hold. And that, my friends, is what makes life truly rich.